Alright, it's time for the most controversial series of videos that I put out all year. Top 5 players at every NBA position. We're going to start with the one, point guard.
DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We're going to get right into it. These rankings, these next 5 videos you're going to see, starting with this one, are going to be my top 5 players at every position right now in the NBA. Let me start by saying I know that y'all are not going to 100% of y'all are not going to agree with 100% with my rankings, and I'm alright with that. I welcome the debate. I'm going to give you my top 5. I'm going to tell you why I put certain players in front of other guys or why certain guys got left off. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple people that I completely forgot about and even doing these rankings. Let me know about that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think one person should be above another person. And tell me why. Don't just tell me who, but tell me why. Give me a good reason why some person deserves a spot that they don't have on my rankings. And also, if you want to, share your rankings. So this is going to be a good conversation that we have with all y'all. I want all y'all to get engaged in this. Another thing, if you do got a comment, you don't agree with what I said, just don't say nothing crazy. Don't get out of control. Don't be in the comments trolling, because I'm going to have to block you and delete you, then you won't be able to talk here no more. Now I won't have to do that. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the point guard position. I'm going to go from number 5 to number 1. Number 5 player at the point guard position, I actually had a serious debate with this with a couple of my homies from college yesterday. I was debating the number 5 spot between Damian Lillard and John Wall. We was going back and forth. Why is this guy better than this guy? One of my homies, Tone, he was talking about Damian Lillard been playing in the league 2 years while John Wall played 4, and Damian Lillard did the same amount because Damian Lillard got Rookie of the Year and he made the playoffs and whatever points he was scoring and stuff like that. And I actually went and pulled the stats between Damian Lillard and John Wall from last season. John Wall actually had better stats than Damian Lillard in every category except points. And the points differential was like less than 1 point per game. John Wall had him in every other stat. John Wall made the second round of the playoffs, the same as Damian Lillard did. And as far as the Rookie of the Year thing goes, for anybody else who might be thinking like my guy was thinking, Damian Lillard won Rookie of the Year the same year Anthony Davis was a rookie. Anthony Davis kept getting hurt that year. I'm not saying that Damian Lillard didn't earn the award, but had Anthony Davis not got hurt, Anthony Davis would have won Rookie of the Year. That's just the plain and simple fact. That's not to say Damian Lillard's award wasn't worth it. He still got the trophy, but that's just the fact. In John Wall's rookie year, he was going up against Blake Griffin. Nobody was beating Blake Griffin that year. Davis wouldn't have beat him, Lillard wouldn't have beat him, and John Wall didn't beat him. So that's the whole thing with the Rookie of the Year. That was just a debate me and him was having. But the number 5 point guard, I had to go with John Wall. John Wall is my number 5 point guard. Now, at the point guard position, this is probably the deepest position in the league as far as really star-level talented players. So there's a lot of guys that's going to get left off of this list. So I want to hear who you think should be on the list and tell me whose spot they take when you name them. My number 4 point guard, I put my guy, Stephen Curry, as the number 4 point guard in the NBA. And as I get to the top 3, I'll tell you why I put each person in the spot that I put them. Number 3, Russell Westbrook is the number 3 point guard in the league. The reason I put Russ ahead of Stephen Curry because they have completely different games. And it's funny if you think back to the draft, I think, which was 2010, I believe 2010 or 2011 draft, correct me if I'm wrong. The Thunder could have drafted Stephen Curry, but they drafted James Harden instead. Not to say that was a bad pick. They were thinking about pairing Steph and Russ together. Let Steph play the one and bring Russ off the ball. I don't think Russ is that great at his shooting guard position anyway. He's not really a shooter. But anyway, I put Russ ahead of Steph because Russell Westbrook has won more than Stephen Curry. As far as stats go, they both put up incredible stats. They both had their share of injuries, but Russell Westbrook's been to the NBA Finals. He's been to the Conference Finals. Stephen Curry has not gone past the second round, and he only did that once. So I had to put Russell Westbrook over Stephen Curry, and I think as far as defensive impact, Russ has more of an impact than Steph. I'm not saying Russ is perfect on D, but he has more of an impact than Stephen Curry. Number 2 versus number 1 point guard. I'm sure all of you who watch the NBA pretty closely, if you really listen to this video, you're pretty sure who the 2 guys left are that I didn't mention yet. It was a very tough debate between these two guys for the #1 point guard spot. And before I say their names, I'm going to say this. I picked the guy who has done more winning, and he's done significantly more winning than the other guy. I picked this guy because he also, I never had him #1 before. Actually, didn't even have him in the top 2 before, but after he just won his 3rd championship, I had to put him in the #1 spot. And compared to the #2 guy who has never even played in the conference finals yet in his career, it's hard to believe, but it's actually true. I had to put Tony Parker as the #1 point guard in the NBA. Now, let me say this. If Tony Parker and Chris Paul is #2, those of you who are confused right now. If Tony Parker and Chris Paul got in the gym and they just did a skills competition or played one-on-one, I think Chris Paul would win. But we gotta remember what the object of basketball is. The object of basketball is not to get stats. The object is not to do moves. The object is not to get highlights. The object of the game is to win. Tony Parker has won 3 NBA championships. Chris Paul has never even been past the 2nd round of the playoffs. He's been to the 2nd round a few times, but he's never gotten past the 2nd round. And when he went against Tony Parker a couple years ago, they got swept 4 games to none, and it wasn't even close. Now, we know in basketball that it's not all about one player against one other player. There are 5 guys on the court. Tony Parker has a better coach than Greg Popovich. Tony Parker has better teammates, Hall of Famers in Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and great role players, a guy like Kawhi Leonard who stepped up out of nowhere last year. Well, not out of nowhere, but Danny Green. They have a great bench. They just got a great organization. Tony Parker is part of a great organization, whereas Chris Paul is part of a very talented but dysfunctional group up until last year when they got Doc Rivers, and then they had the whole Donald Sterling thing, so they were still fucked up. So I understand that, but in the end, all that matters is what you did. And in the end, if Tony Parker and Chris Paul both retired today, Tony Parker's ahead of Chris Paul because he got 3 rings and Chris Paul has 0. So Tony Parker is my #1 NBA point guard. Honorable mentions who got left out. One guy left out because I have no idea where he is right now or what he's going to do is Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, I believe I had him as a #1 point guard last year. It might have been #2. You can go back and look. I don't remember, but I had him and Chris Paul as the top 2 guys last year. Derrick Rose fell off the list this year because of his injuries, and I don't know what his game is going to look like. Now, understand that I'm not using that as a precedent for the rest of the list. There are going to be some other guys coming off injury who I did put in the top 5, despite the fact they didn't play last year either, or didn't play much. Derrick Rose I left off just because the point guard position is so damn deep. I'm not sure what he's going to look like once he starts going up against these other guys, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. If any of you disagree with my list, here we go again. Tony Parker #1, Chris Paul #2, Russell Westbrook #3, Stephen Curry #4, John Wall #5. If you disagree with my list, let me know in the comments and tell me why you disagree. You can also tweet me at DreAllDay. Here's my DreAllDay Twitter. Tweet me, let me know why or why not you disagree with my list and tell me who replaces whom. That's it for point guards. Check back tomorrow for the 2 guard position. Work on your game. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you check back next week for another Q&A video where I take your questions. All my most popular videos are up here. Follow me on your favorite social networks over here, and make sure you are subscribed to catch all my new content coming out every day on this channel. Work on your game.